Good morning, y'all. Farmer Nicole here at Circle C Farm. I am out in the Diva doghouse and I'm with the 5 Maremma puppies that we have. And I am feeding them some of our chicken blend without organs, our pet grind, and as you can see, they are thoroughly enjoying it. So I put out several pounds. Again, one of the things that Manny and I have worked really hard on is the fact that we are creating a dynamic that is not food aggressive. So they have, as they're getting bigger, we have multiple buckets of a quality dry food, and then we have our raw, so that they have food 24/7 so that they're never hungry. And for those of you who have never had the Maremma breed, or even some of the other livestock guardian breeds are similar, they're all not exactly the same, and each dog is different, just like people, but generally speaking, your livestock guardian dogs and the Maremmas are not necessarily heavy eaters. And by that, what I mean is they're going to eat what they need, but they're not necessarily gorgers. And so I have seen some posts recently in social media talking about the amount that these dogs eat or don't eat. And particularly during the summer, they eat a little bit less, particularly during the day or maybe in the mornings, but in the evenings they may eat it as it gets cooler. And so I wanted to mention that simply because by providing the food all the time, and you can do that with a place where they can jump into like this. So you can see that the sheep and the goats, when they were in this paddock before, they couldn't get into this doghouse. So what we did is we had built this for summer originally, but she passed away a few months ago, and we went ahead and sanitized it and cleaned it all up just because we could have a transition in dog smell, and just because. And then what we've done is we've placed it in here under another roof. And by doing that, what we did is we provided an opportunity for the puppies to have a really safe space to be. They could get used to the igloo doghouse. They could get used to a mobile doghouse like this so that they could come and go and hop up to get their food so they don't have to compete with the sheep or anything else. So no matter what paddock we're going to put them in or what field that they will go into when they go to their new homes, they're going to have the comfort and the experience of being around different kinds of dog houses, different kinds of styles, so that in this case they can be under here when it's raining and it's lightning and it's nasty and it's gross, or if it's 107 degrees outside with a feels like temperature. And then they're also surrounded by their sheep all day 24/7. So right now these guys are about 12, 13 weeks old, and they are living with their sheep 24/7. You can see a group of them are over there. They just walked over. But they are actually here sleeping with the sheep. The sheep are sleeping around them. They are, mom and dad are outside working at night outside of the paddock. They come into the paddock a couple times a day. Got an auto waterer. Got all sorts of cool stuff over here to get them conditioned to as much as possible so that as they transition, no matter where they are on any farm, they can be really comfortable and chill. So this is what you're seeing underneath the Diva doghouse. That's what I call it. But they've got a mat in here. They've torn it up a little bit. This one, they've messed up some of the stuff inside, but I know they're puppies, so I wanted to give them stuff to chew on and just to be puppy behavior that was not going to be stuff that was going to be a problem for me later. So you can see, they're trying to nibble on my phone. So you can see that they're pretty chill and that they're used to laying in here. So this means that the next house or home that they go to, the next farm, that they will be conditioned for a couple different types of settings. And then underneath, I'm going to drop this down, underneath they have dug out some areas where they're chilling and where they're doing whatever they're doing. And you can see that this was an old trailer. So this was an old repurposed trailer. It's a single axle, and the reason why we chose this is so we could move it around between the pastures and the ATVs, or the tractor could pull it. So that's all we did. We just grabbed a little flatbed that we had. We weren't using it for something else. And originally this design was put salt and minerals in for the sheep. That way they could come up and be around them. I don't think we've ever ended up doing that, but it's actually worked out really well as kind of a guard on the side, meaning that it blocks the sheep from trying to get underneath or to get up in that space if they tried to, because some of the sheep are a little bit more ambitious than others. But what it's done is it's given the dogs an opportunity to hang out with the sheep. You can see that the siding that we did on it, it's got a flat roof, an angled roof. Now, if I were to redo this, I would probably, you could do something similar, or I would see if I could get another overhang on this side. But here we have the door. So, whoops, I didn't mean to slam that. We have the door so that we could get to it. So it's flat on one side and angled on the other. And then sometimes what we'll do is we'll put it up against a tree, palm tree, pine tree, or whatever we might have in the pasture. And then that way it's flush against the tree, which also gives us the trailer's pretty substantially heavy, but should we get some hurricane winds or anything like that, we can also chain or cable this unit to one of the trees. So that way we don't have any flyaway issues or tipping over with the wind. But we never really had any issues with that in the last couple of hurricanes that we've had come through. But you're going to see we got some bones down here in the pasture so they could get used to chewing on those. And my logic behind that is they're going to find bones in the pasture. I want them to chew on things that are natural to them or in the pasture that they can chew on. I'm not going to artificially put stuff out here that they can't, or that they're going to have to, I'm not going to bring in an old shoe. First of all, because I don't want them chewing on an old shoe, but second of all, because if, as they move through pastures or if they get around the house or something like that, at any point, I don't want them chewing my shoes. You know what I mean? Like, so you teach them and you give them the things that you want them to learn or engage or that's appropriate or okay for them to do. So, Farmer Nicole here at Circle C Farm. Just a few things to share this morning about Maremma puppies, training, food, dog houses, pasture rotation, raw pet grind, any and all of that good stuff. So have an awesome day. Thank you so much for being part of the Circle C family. And I think we'll say goodbye for now as these guys are they've been running around all morning and they're getting ready to settle in for some naps. Have a great day.